Hi guys, how are you? Uh Surprise! I'm teaching class today. Give me just a second. Let me set this down a little bit. I need to turn the light on. I'm kind of running a little bit behind setup time. So let's see. It's really bad when we have enough stuff around the light that I have to use a ruler to turn it on and off. Okay. Hi guys, how are you? We have a change of plans for today just because there is some things that are happening with Debbie and her family, and so I'm stepping in today. She will be back for Saturday. But if you could just keep them in your prayers, that would be greatly appreciated. And so we'll go ahead and we'll go from there. We are going to be doing the Craftaganza pieces. And I have been told I'm not allowed to do any of the Festive Friends because it's the cute ones. And Debbie absolutely loves them, which is fine by me because it seems like I do a lot of the cute stuff. So it's great to sometimes get some of the other stuff. So today we're going to be doing this kit. It's still in the container, in the little wrap, because this is the first time I've had a chance to look at it is right now. So is everyone okay? As far as I know that we had a pretty bad storm that went through the Carolinas and Florida. So if there is anyone out there today, I hope that you guys are all well and safe and that everything is going good. So I want to throw that out there. And I wanted to also give us a little bit of a chance to have everyone kind of kick in and say hello and make sure that you guys can hear me okay. And let's see. Yeah, I'm looking at this and I'm going, wow, we're already doing Hunkydory Christmas. I can't believe it. So this one is called A Visit from Afar. It's part of the Christmas Classics. It is the Wise Men. Right there. Now, the gold is beautiful on this one. It came through South Georgia. Good. I'm glad to hear that you're okay, Annette. I thought of you yesterday and this morning when I was listening to the news. And I knew that it was coming. So I'm glad that you're okay. We've got a beautiful background. Look at that. So bear with me because I'm going to have to get my bearings a little bit because, like I said, this is the first time I'm looking at it. So you're seeing it with me. And then here is our other foiled cardstock piece. Isn't that beautiful? So this is, I always love their nativity toppers. I think they're just so pretty, and I really appreciate this one. I always like the Wiseman one, but I like the difference in the art on it. So I've just have pulled out a whole bunch of various different card shapes and papers that I can work with. And so I'm going to do a little bit of conversation while we wait for everyone to join us about what you can do to get set up for and what we're going to do with these Craftaganza kits. So, or not Craftaganza kits, but Craftaganza classes. So give me just a moment. Let me put the camera down so you can see what I've got at the table, and I'll be right back. Okay, there we go. And hopefully this will give us what we need for space. If I need to pull in so that you guys can see something closer, please let me know. This holographic foiling that they have on here is gorgeous. But what I am noticing is that it's really hard to pick up on the camera. So I'm going to see if I can bring it in any closer and see if that kind of helps so that you can actually see the picture and not just all the shine. Because in person, you can see everyone. Hello, Mary R. you can see in person all the beautiful pictures, but with it on the screen, it seems like it has a little bit more shine with that holographic piece. So isn't it gorgeous? I just love this. It's so pretty. There, I think that angle is a good way to be able to see the picture. So in our topper sets, we have a border. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 tags and 2 buttons. The tags say, "Oh, Star of Wonder, Star of Night, Star of Royal Beauty, Bright," and "From Across the Miles," and "Christmas Blessings." So those are our 3-word ones. So I think based on the conversation that Debbie had with people last night, the decision is, yes, Thelma, I agree. It is beautiful. What we're going to do is we're going to take and put each, instead of doing separate class kits for everything, instead we're just going to create, for those of you that didn't purchase the Craftaganza piece, what we're going to do is that we're going to provide you with each of the class kits that we're going to do. There's 10 total. There's, I believe, 4 from the Festive Friends, 2 from the Classic Christmas, 2 from the Contemporary Christmas, and what's the other one? Oh, the Winter. I believe that we have 2 from the Winter as well. So this is one of the sets, and we're going to include all 10, and we're going to add in 5 yards of ribbon, because that was another request, is can we have some ribbon that matches some of these? And so we'll just create a little kit with the 10 pieces along with 5 yards of ribbon so that you can make your kits with the class. So we're going to keep within those guidelines for the classes and what we're going to do. And we will not include card stock. We will not other than what you get in the topper sets. But we won't include any actual card stock. And we won't include any backing papers other than what's included in the Craftaganza kit. So if you wanted to do Miri or anything like that, keep a little bit of that on hand, because we will still probably be using a little bit of gold here and there. But the idea is that you can still use some of your own stash, but then for the most part, we're going to just try and keep it within the 3 pages that we get from the topper sets, what we can do with those, and the ribbons. So that is the goal. And so later on this evening, I'm going to put it online for you. It's just going to have a picture of the 10 pieces kind of fanned out, since we don't have any of the cards pre-made. So we're just going to fan them out for you. And then from there, you can take a look and say, oh, hey, I really like that. And that's what I want to get some of that. So we'll put that there so that you can watch for it. I think we'll just call it the Hunkydory Christmas set of 10 class kit. Live stream class kit, something along those lines, something that's going to identify it as something separate from the regular Craftaganza. And I'm kind of trying to stay away from the word Craftaganza in the kit so that you can differentiate between that and buying the Craftaganza bundle. So if you have the Ultimate or the Blockbuster or the Craftaganza, you will already have these pieces. And so if there are people that don't have ribbons and you still need ribbons for some of the colors that we will be using, you can look at them in the kit, and then you can talk with Debbie about purchasing the ribbon per yard. And so we can definitely do that. So there's about 5 yards of ribbon that's going to be in these. So that helps kind of explain what we're doing. Little quick overview. Does anybody have any questions, and can everybody hear me okay before I get going on something that I haven't even thought about what I'm doing yet? You get to watch this process live. It'll be great. Are we doing okay with sound? Lots of debris in the yard. I'm glad that you're safe, Mary. That's the important part. Good, good. Wonderful. Thank you, Thelma. I appreciate the note. One of the things that I do want to talk to you about is kind of how we make some decisions when we're doing a lot of kits. And so I just want to make sure that you guys are going to be prepared for the kind of stock that you need to have for these classes. And so if you don't, you can always say, hey, can you please add in this and this and this, and we'll put it on your order, and we'll try and make sure that we get what we have to you. We've got plenty of things in stock. So one is that we typically use finger lift tape. Right now we have the Hunkydory version in stock. Glue, foam squares. We've got foam squares in a couple of different ways. We've got 2 millimeter as well as 1 millimeter packs. Some are 10 packs of all of these little ones, or you can now buy a 10 pack that has multiple different sizes so that you can use some bigger ones for things like this where you want to do something quick and fast. You can use some of those bigger ones for these and not have to worry about peeling apart all the little pieces. So this is going to be something that you'll want to have ready to go. Some guidelines for, sorry, just a moment. No, Bob is probably going to be a little bit confused. Debbie had to leave. They had a family emergency. So Bob is inside the house.
I seen him walking outside here.
Did he walk outside?
But he looks like he's feeding.
Oh, okay. Oh, great. I'll just let him know that you're here to clean to remind him. And then,
Okay. Is he doing okay?
Yeah, he is. Yep, we're just going to keep an eye. And so you can just absolutely help yourself to clean your room. You've got Okay, sorry about that, guys. I wanted to make sure they had the house cleaners coming, and they arrived a little later than usual today, so I needed to let them in, and I had to make sure that Bob knew that they were here so that it didn't surprise him when they were in the house if he didn't know. So took care of that. I think that we should not have any more interruptions. I apologize. You may want to have a couple of Merry Christmas stickers around of some sort. We get plenty on these, but every once in a while, it's nice to have those on hand in case you run out of little sayings or things. So with that, then we're going to talk cardstock. So we've got our DLs. 6x6s are a nice size, and I know that we also have 5.25 in card deco. We use those fairly frequently, but we also use a lot of 6x6s, and it seems to fit a lot of these sizes. If you look right here, this is going to be a great size for that. So 6x6s, and then your European A6s and your 5x7s. And then just choose a couple of fun shaped cards along the way. Typically just because it seems to be a fan favorite, as well as a favorite for Debbie, is that you're going to have your stipper cards. You've got your inner and your outer dimensions, and these make it a lot of fun for giving to family members as part of their Christmas cards, because it's unique. So there's gateway cards out there. There's lots of other different kinds of cards, and I know you guys know all of these things, but this is kind of what we look at and use as our base products most of the time, unless we have a specialty thing that we have in mind to do with something. So with that, this is what we're going to start with. Alrighty here. So we've got the town of Bethlehem in here. And then we have all of these different little background pieces. So we're going to try and have a little bit of fun with these. I think I'd like to see maybe doing a little bit of the background here on one of these cards so that you can have the opportunity to see the actual town as well as some of the other pieces. So that's, I think, the direction that we're going to head with this. Yep. Okay. So that's where we're starting. Okie dokie. So let's see what is happening out there in the world and what are some of the things that you guys are enjoying doing when you're not dodging trees and branches and the other things that are hitting the East Coast right now. What are some of the things that you're doing to get prepped for Christmas time besides your Craftaganza? Do you have any ideas in mind for Christmas? I know it seems so odd for me to think about Christmas now, but let's face it, if you make things, you have to think about those things now. Okay, so right now all that I am doing is I am creating areas to glue my pieces down with. Okie dokie. So now that I have these in all of these wonderful places, I don't want to get too caught up down below quite yet. I really want to focus on getting this piece and this piece in there to where I can get this star going. So that's my first goal, is that I want to get this star over here on this side corner panel. And when you're cutting these out, they work really great to be able to have these in place. And I am sure hoping, because it has been a little while, it's been since last Christmas, that I did one of these cards. So I am hoping that I can make sure that I get this exactly the way that we want it. Yep. So my goal is to lay everything as flat as I can, get it all straight on the actual card. And all that I've done is take the top piece and the two side pieces, because that's what I want to focus on at this moment in time the most. Make sure that I have room to be able to cut. So I'm going a little bit further down than the card itself, just because I don't want to shorten shorten that too much. I'd rather cut a little off than be shy. And I still think that I got it a little shy. There's always got to be a character in the group, doesn't there? Okay. So first things first, we're going to cut this. I am so sorry, guys. Bear with me. I did it wrong. Okay. I'm going to recover this section. Yes, smudges, the erasers are a great way to do that. I totally agree. Okay, so I totally tried to start it backwards, and I apologize, guys. All right, so what you want to do is you want to put on your face piece first. Now, those of you that just saw my great, wonderful mistake, that is awesome, because then you can see how we can correct it. So we're going to make sure that when we tape it, we're just going to fit this square T part first, the top all the way to the bottom. And by doing that, then we can come in from the back and cut it where we need it to be. So you're going to just come in and cut within each of those slats. and then come down on the sides this direction because we want to leave the sides as much as possible in that strip. So then that way, when we get ready to cut it, we can use as much of that picture as we want. And then we have this middle piece to cut. So does that make sense? Now, are you guys talking embossing by hand embossing with tools, or are you talking embossing as with doing folders and things like that? So now I'm just going to come right along here. And then I still have this great little piece left over. So half the page, basically. And now I can come back in and I can see exactly where I can bring my sheets down, my little side sheets down, cut along the edges. Right, like that. I apologize. I'm trying to do it so you can see. And then I didn't hold it up right. So you're going to come in here onto the sides like this. It's a little gangly sometimes. I have come to that conclusion over time. I'm used to my tiny little scissors. I have this plan every time that I do classes that I just bring my own scissors, just because you know your own stuff, and if you use them plenty, then it works out quite nicely. And if you don't, and if it's something that you're not used to all the time, you can really get thrown off by not having your own stuff. So because I'm left-handed, even my right-handed scissors, I hold them differently. And so the way the pads wear feels different in my hand. So I don't have any of those things with me today. So this is where we're starting from. This is our base picture. And then you can choose to decide whether you want to put something down into this little piece right here. You do not have to. So that kind of is just everybody's own preference, honestly. But what I really want to focus on in this moment is making sure that I get my star in over here. And that's my hope, is make sure that I can get my little piece of my star that's going to go up. And in this particular case, I want my star up in this area. So I'm going to put my even though I've got sand down here and town up here, they definitely had hilly areas. You can see it on a lot of different ways around in the town. So even if we think of them as being kind of deserty, they're not. They're hills on top of it all. So I want to keep the town. And I'm going to put this one right up in here. And I can totally go back through and put in another piece of the Starry Night from up here. And I can set it down in here because you won't see it. And you'll see what I mean here in just a minute. Okay, and I'm going to have to trim my pieces just a tad because I did trim a little crooked. So that's okay because it is fixable. So you're going to stay right within that line as best as you possibly can over here. So if you see, you're going to just slide right along the line, put it right before the bend, line it up. And as you can see, I'm going to have an edge to cut on each side. Oh, good, Diane. Hi, how are you? I see that you're good and that grandkids are good. And hopefully they're as tired out as you are, because then that means that everybody had a fun time. We're going to be doing that in the next couple of weeks. I'm taking my mom for her birthday, and we're going to go through, and my mom used to, her favorite thing to do as a kid was to go to the fair. That was her favorite thing. And so every year my grandparents would take her. And when COVID hit, Grandma couldn't take her. And then with Grandma passing away, it's been hard because she hasn't had the ability to go to the fair, and we tried doing it locally after we got moved, and it just wasn't the same as the state fair. We did a little local county fair, and I was under the impression that it was much bigger than it was, and maybe it used to be bigger at some point, but it isn't anymore. Okay, so I'm trimming up the pieces that I did in error with the scissors earlier. That gives me a nice cut. So now it's just a matter of making sure that I have all my pieces and my ducks in a row. And I'm going to cut down those sides. So that is where I've got to start next. Fix my problem. So I'm going to do that in the trimmer just because it will help make me have a straight line. Okay. So anyways, for her birthday, I made the decision that I was going to surprise her, and we are going to go to the Washington State Fair that is happening later than the Oregon State Fairs do. So I am sure that we will have lots of fun and absolutely have a fun time. Still having trouble cutting this straight. Alrighty. And now I'm just going to take and put my pieces of star right down in here. So then that way, when you do have it sitting upright, you won't see the little white pieces down in here if you're kind of looking down. And it's not close enough for you guys, so sorry about that. Okay. So I am just going to slide that little guy right there. Yep. And so we have our camping place picked out, and hopefully it won't be raining, because you never know. We are the Pacific Northwest. And usually, now knock on wood, usually the first rains hit around the 25th or so of September. However, it did rain today as the first day of school for little Miss Emma. So she was bundled up this morning with layers, because that's what you need around here is layers, because you never know what kind of weather you're going to get later on in the afternoon during this time of year. I don't know how many of you guys have that same thing happen where you're at. I'm sure that with the hurricanes, it's definitely you don't know. I don't know about that. I usually don't look up at the information, so this is kind of funny. I don't know if they have the love tunnel, Thelma, but I am sure that I can probably talk him into it. He does not like riding rides. It is not his thing. He does not enjoy it. He really does not like it. So it is, however, one of those things that he might just be willing to do. And I mean, hey, 26 years later, we can still enjoy a love tunnel, right? Okay, so here we've got our base, and now let's take a look at what sizes that we have here. And I'm kind of thinking, I was originally thinking that I wanted to maybe put on one of the smaller ones, because the picture in the background is so lovely. But I think let's push this one out and let's see what we get. Let's start there. Oh, that is a nice size. Okay, so I think that that's what we'll go with. So top little one. And I don't know how many of you were you able to catch Very One Babies will be here tomorrow for dinner. Then we have Jackie's 30th birthday party tomorrow. Oh, that's so lovely. I'm sure that Debbie has shared with you that Bob's birthday they're going to be celebrating it this weekend, and he's going to be 91. So it seems crazy, because I still think of him as being in his 80s, but he's not. And I don't know what he wants for his birthday, but if he has his way, if it has something to do with the puppies or the squirrels, I'm sure that he will or I shouldn't say puppies, but the Mr. Teddy and his little kitty cat, He sure does enjoy the animals a lot. So I'm glad that they do have wonderful animals here for him to be able to enjoy. Okay. So I think I'm going to put that there. And I'm going to take the tag that says Star of Wonder, Star of Night. Yeah. Actually, I take that back. Let's see if this fits a little bit better. No, I think I like the tag. Put that nice pretty star over there on the side. I think we'll just keep going with that theme. So I think that for those of you that missed it, we're going to be putting together the 10 kit topper sets for this month's classes. So you can go through and you can do the classes with us, and we will stick with the ribbons and the papers and toppers. You'll still want to have some of your use your own stash, and we're kind of just going through, and I went through the list of what the generalized card sets, card stock pieces that you may want to use for your cards. Just because those seem to be and tend to be what we go with when we do our cards. So if you haven't stocked up on some of your 6x6s, your European A6s, your DL cards, and then just a couple of special cards, I recommend that you do that as well when you get your kit. If you have them already at home, like I'm sure that several of you do, and including myself, I have mine at home as well. So we just want to make sure that we're keeping the cost minimal. If you have your Blockbuster kit or your Ultimate kit, you will already have these things. And if you need ribbons or anything like that, you can always order them by the yard from us if you have purchased the Craftaganza or the Blockbuster kit, because the Ultimate is what the ribbons come in. I don't remember them coming in the Blockbuster, but I do know that they were in the Ultimates. Okay, so I've taken my little tag here, and I've taken some of our ribbon pieces. This will be one of the colors. It'll probably be in your standard colors. So we'll have 5 yards total, and we'll have it with the red and the blue. And I have to decide later on this evening. So you never know what you're going to get, but we're going to try and stick within the thinner ribbons, and just put in a few pieces for us to be able to put them in and make them a design. Okay, I think, because I'm not showing you guys very well what I'm doing, am I? I think that I like it here. I'm going to keep it kind of down and off to the side because I want that star to really shine on the other side. And this will just give it a nice little piece over here. I also think that if you do not have some gold and silver Miri, we're going to use our cardstock and such, and that's what we've usually done whenever we do like the Craftaganza, the full kits, when we're doing our online introductions. Dill pickles. My husband is a dill pickle eater. So we'll do our best to stick within just what we have in the kit and use those as our pieces. And it always helps if you have a stopper for these. So we're going to use our border piece as part of our stopper. And you could always just use this piece on the bottom, of this page, and you wouldn't miss it to use it across here. But I think I just want a little bit more glitz and glam. And by putting this in, just like this, along here, we'll have a stopper piece. And look, doesn't that just brighten? Let's pull that in a little bit more, guys. I'm so sorry. I'm working off camera. This is what happens when you don't have a camera person to say, hey, you're working off camera. Let's try that a little bit further out. Right now, you can't see that star because it's right there hiding. And I would put some stickles on it personally. I'm not going to do that for time saving, but I think that it would be a great way to use your stickles. And make it shine because it does hide a little bit back there. I quickly grabbed her little speedy foamy squares that we use. And it's looking like they're maybe missing a little bit of their stickum. So you may find me gluing some foamies here as we go, I have a feeling. Now, you could take and put in some more of your pieces if you wanted to. You can take and put the little town inside here to be seen. You could have put it all the way through there, but I want to save as much as possible because I have at least 3 more toppers to go with this set. So I'm going to try and save it. And I am going to use just because I think that I have the space to do it. Let me check here. I might not. Well, I was thinking of using this big crisp Merry Christmas, but I don't think that it will fit. So we have these wonderful Merry Christmas and glitters, and it would look so pretty with this. But I have a feeling that it's just not going to fit on this card very well. So we will leave this as is. And this is our first card. There we go. I folded it wrong, so now it's trying to fold in on me at the very top. So that's what we have. And it turned out so pretty. Okay, there's number 1. Work with the hardest card first. That's the way to go. Not really, but I try hard. Okie dokie. Let's see here. Bear with me just a second. Smells like pine salt. Okay. I am just going to trim this piece because I know that I got it a little crooked when I was cutting before. So I just want to straighten it out, and I find, again, you use what you know, and I have found that for me, some of the trimmers don't do as well as others for me. So go with that. So now we have these two backgrounds and we have these pieces. So let's take a look at what we can do next. So I think I'm just going to go with a simple 6x6 shape. Let's see. I might have to go. Let's see. It isn't quite enough, if you can see, but I think I'm just going to go ahead and cut that down. And I cannot be positive to say that it wouldn't be great to put a little bit of Miri in the background. And that might take care of what I need for it to take care of in order to cover in that 6. So I think I am going to take a little bit of my gold Miri and do it that way. So there are some colors that are in there, so that if you're looking for what types of Miri backgrounds maybe to use or something along those lines, everything has for the most part some red or some gold, silver. This one's blue. There's a couple of teal ones that I noticed this year, but pretty much you could get away with probably doing some gold, some blue, some red, and some green in your Miris or in your glitter cards. And if you do green, make sure that it is not that it's not too dark, because the colors that they've used for the 10 toppers that we have are kind of the Kelly green colors, if I recall right. And maybe I will pull them out so that we can go over them really quick with you. I don't know if Debbie did that yesterday. I apologize. I've been kind of running. It was the first day of school for Emma today, so I was kind of running around doing all the extra things that need to be done with kids right the day before school. Because, of course, there's always something that you forget, right? Always. Of course, I didn't cut it all the way through because I'm on camera. Isn't that always the way it goes? Okay, here we go. So I would do some gold, some silver, some red, some blue, and some green in Miri. We've also got these, which would be a really nice, pretty way to go too, is buying a couple of our paper accent glitter cards. You could have a really rich kit that you make up to be your own, and not every two will be the same, right? So we might have all made them in class, but they'll all look different by the time we're done. Okay, so it looks like you can make this maybe like a 5. Let's see. Let's do a 5 3/4 and see where that takes us. Get it the right direction, guys. Get it the right direction. Okay. I do have a brain today. It's possible. Anyways, I think.
I don't.
Brittany says she does not. We both have quite a bit of very distracting things going on right now for us. So we each for different reasons. So we've kind of been going a few different directions today, and she has been busy doing a lot of heartfelt put away for stock so that we've gotten a little bit more in stock. See, I knew I wasn't counting that quite right. It should be 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. That's really close. Okay, we'll tape flag these. If Debbie makes it look easy, guys, I will tell you she makes it look easy. She can do these things, and I have to always think them through. So thank you for bearing with me today. Oh, Annette, that is hilarious. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yes, it was a very heavy box. Carrying them up the stairs was crazy because we had more than just one in a box at a time. We're carrying up boxes. So when we did the kits, we found that Brittany can tell you she's filling the boxes downstairs, and we loaded them up and got them out the door at the end of last week, unless you asked us to hold them. So you should have received them by now. But yes, they are. They are heavy. If you got the standard Craftaganza, it's like having 3 luxury topper sets and a magazine. If you went for the other stuff, let me tell you, lugging them around was fun. Annette said that James went to the mailbox yesterday, and he said it was so heavy, and he never wants you to hit him because we're that strong. So I do not see Brittany and I ever being violent, but you never know. I keep thinking that I'm getting weaker with age, but I don't know. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I get tireder. Maybe that's more of what I have happen. You never know. Okay. There we go. Isn't that going to be beautiful? And again, I think just lightly stickling up the little stars, if you can see right in here. See all those little stars that are out here? I would take that and I would stickle them up. Unfortunately, there is not enough time to be able to do that on camera, but I will tell you right now, I think that it would make it look even richer than it already does with this holographic gold. Okay. I'm going to use some of our line strips for these just for sake of making it fast and easy. He said, I never want to make them mad at me. And yes, she did get the ultimate. Yeah, they weigh a lot.
I was shocked when I was carrying them downstairs.
Did you carry them down in the pre-made boxes?
Yes.
So yeah, so she did the pre-made boxes. I think the heaviest one that I had was from one of the ladies last week who had some orders that she had asked us to hold when she bought her kit. And so adding one to the other, I had to move it into the biggest box that we had. And so Annette, I would say that yours, the ultimates by themselves weigh a lot, but it's amazing how much more they weigh when you add some more stuff to it. So hopefully everyone, did you have a chance to open up your box, Annette? Good night, Diane. I obviously probably missed that by a couple of minutes. You may have already signed off, but good night, and I hope you have a good evening. Hey, Brittany.
Yes.
I forgot to grab a bow maker.
A what?
A bow maker.
Okay. You want the little one?
Yeah, just the little one. I am not the fancy bow maker on demand.
I thought I only had a little one, but I have options, so I can use them.
Thank you. Okay, so I always put on the outer layer first. And part of the reason for that is then that way that helps guide me on where I want to glue this piece into place. And it allows me to not keep it from wandering as much. And if I go from the other way out, I seem to always make some sort of a mistake. So rather than working from the inside out, I work from the outside in. And that glue is plugged. Let's see. There we go. Got it started. Yay. I feel like this, I'm going to have to try and make sure that I remember to work way out here because I can't. I didn't have the camera set where I normally have it sitting, so I'm sorry. So yell at me in big, huge exclamations and say, move back onto the table. And hopefully I'll see it. So see, by just putting this in and setting it up, now I don't have a problem. I have it exactly where I want it to be the entire time. Look at that. Perfect. And I think for time's sake, we'll just do this as well for these. So does somebody have a preference as to what they like as far as their foamies? Who likes the 2s? Who likes the 3s? Who likes the 1s? And yes, some of them have to do with what you're doing with them. But for just typical this type of thing, do you guys have a foamy preference? My foamy preference is that I can put it on straight. And I think one more. You're welcome, Annette. I kind of figured that, if you've got something as an ultimate, it's a huge kit, and we do little gifts for some of our Amazon and Etsy customers. And so I just decided I would put a surprise in for those who ordered the ultimate kit. So you are very welcome. There you go. Isn't that pretty? And that's without even any words on it yet. Okay. Let's do the Christmas blessings. And I think that's all that I want to do on this one. Really. And this has, see how right up here it has all of this filigree work up here at the top. So I think instead of putting it up here on the corners or the sides, I started to do that because that's kind of the natural thought process, I think, on doing these. But with the way that it is, I think I want to bring my gold and put it right down into here to kind of blend out that richness so that it comes down to the bottom. Hi, Karen. Okay. All righty, here we go. So that is this card. So this is our 6x6. 1 millimeter, absolutely, for Deco Large. I agree. And 1.5 millimeter. I think that is a wise way to go. Okay, so there's number 2. See, I can get a few cards done in a short period of time. It just takes concentration. I had my DL card out because I knew that I was going to want to fill this one in with the DL card. But I think instead, just because I have it and it's here and we've got them, I think I'm going to use my paper accents as my background for this one. Oh, yes. Yes. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and cut this. see. How long do I want to make this one? I'm working off camera there for just a little tiny bit. I want to go. Let's go to a 6.5. All right, so I'm going to start at a 6.5 on this height, and I made the width not quite as wide as normal just because of all the glitter that we've got for the background. It's about 5.25, excuse me, 4.5. So it's 4.5 by 6.5. Oh, yes, yes, yes. I think this is going to be beautiful. And I think I'm going to have to take these foamies and glue them with the glitter. It is always a good idea to give it a little bit of extra adhesive. And since these are not quite as sticky as they used to be, and hence the reason why we use them, man, I think I might have to glue all of them, both directions. I think that makes them not very fast. Maybe I just have a couple of them that are a little bit stickier than others. Thank you, Dorothy, because I wasn't sure that I wanted to call you Fred because I couldn't decide and I never want to make assumptions. So I thought, you know what? I am just going to let you know that I liked your foamy idea and thank you for introducing yourself. Yes, I agree. They do. They stretch and they move. And what else I have found is that with glue dots, a lot of times you lose some of that layering. It's just not as thick. And so it starts to look like a flat card. And I really like dimension. I think that that's what makes it unique from a card that you buy in a store, along with all the beautiful artwork and all the fancy stuff that you see on anything from Hunkydory cards to all the different kinds of work that we do. My mom was told, I always know when it's your cards. It's so unique. And she said, I can't decide if that is a compliment or not. So I think, let me see if I can find some Christmas sayings down in here that are smaller. I know that we have them. Christmas. We just have one more actual saying to be able to use, so I want to make sure that we can use those in places that maybe needs a little bit more oomph. think that we need to make sure that Debbie has some Christmas sayings before we start this. That's good, Seth. Okay, I think we'll just go ahead and we'll use these. Can't use that one. We have a couple of them in here. I wonder what this would look like. This is just a test, I have a feeling, because I'm not sure if it's going to work for this particular item, but everything is so dark on here that I'm afraid that if I get too much other color in here, like this red doesn't quite match with the maroon that's there, because this is definitely more of a maroon. So I think what I want to do is, let's see what one of these looks like. We have just a little bit of color all the way around it. And I think that I might really like this. Merry Christmas. Okay, so if anybody wants to know, this is a duty sticker, and its code is DD2705. And this works quite nicely with these darker colors. And it's got just enough glimmer to it. Look at that. It really just sits right on there quite nicely. I don't even think, I was saying something about possibly doing the stars, but these stars actually are foiled. So they've gold foiled them, so they actually have a sparkle in them already. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? So simple card, but a lot of punch that goes with it. So number 3. Hey, we're doing good. 3, and that only took me like 5 minutes. That's pretty good. For me, that is really good. I should really just stand up and jump up and down and celebrate. Okay. And don't anybody dare me to do it, because I won't. Last week they said, you need to say it like Debbie says it. And they were talking about saying beautiful. So the sing song that Debbie does with her beautiful, Brittany, they were trying to get me to do the Debbie beautiful statement. You know, the beautiful, but just, yeah, singing it and the whole 9 yards. And I was like, huh, okay, you're asking me to go outside my comfort zone here, guys. I'm already online. Okay. I think I want to do, I feel like this is too big for a 5 by for European A6, but maybe it's not. Maybe by just taking and filling that up. But I'm going to go ahead and do a 5 by 7. We'll go ahead and put some ribbon on here. Give it some pretty. Can you do me a huge favor, and can you bring me one of each of the toppers over?
Like the one she's still gonna do?
Yep, because I'm going to show you guys what we're going to put into the kit. So then that way you know which toppers they are and which ones we're doing. I don't know if she did that yesterday or not. Okay.
How many do you have over there?
I just have the Wiseman one that I'm doing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Looks like this card, the back side is a little bit bigger than the front side. So we'll give it a quick little cut. Okay, I think for this one, I'm going to give it a little bow. Not a big one, not a fancy one, just a little one. So I'm going to go with a 4. 4 to a 4. 3 to a 3. And back out to a 4 to a 4. I tend to make my bows small. Those of you that know me, put down the middle. So that was totally my fault on this part, and I'm a cracked egg. The saddest part of all my craft stash is in storage. And so I had to get some more to keep me occupied. Well, I don't know about you, but I don't know that that's sad. I still have stash that I have handy, and I still don't always think about that. I think about what's right there in front of me, and I'm like, oh, I really like that, so I buy it. So I have stash upon stash upon stash that I have to find storage for. Okay, so here we go. So I ran through this really too fast, and I should have gone a little bit slower. So you put it in your bow maker. This particular bow maker is a 4, 4, put it into the 3, then the 3, and then you go back out to the 4, to the 4, down through the hole, up through the middle. And those of you that have been watching for a while know that Satin and I do not like each other. It clearly claimed war. So I take a little bit of tape, and I just finger lift tape, and I just kind of put it here in the back section. So then that way, tear a little bit of it off. Then that way when I tie it, I'm tying it nice and tight, and it gives me a nice strong bow without it deciding that it's going to rebel and not work the way that I want it to work. Because I always end up loosening them as I take them off. They don't quite hold. Something always inevitably happens. So by putting that in there, it really does help. Separate out my bow. It also keeps you from accidentally pulling in the middle section so that you lose part of it. And that's my big problem always. I always end up pulling it to where to try and keep it tight, if I don't use that tape, it will truly just take and start to pull in on one side or the other, and then I lose part of my bow. And I think it's going to do what it wants to do today. So we'll let the little bottom parts come out the bottom. Okay, so here's my bow. Still tried to come undone on me. Satin. See? Told you. It's out to get me. Okay. That might be Debbie. She tried to call me. Okay, and we're going to do the exact same thing where we're just going to go ahead and put it around, up and around. I'm using my strips to make it a little bit faster. Okie dokie. And I think on this one, I'm going to go ahead and, I don't know, rather than putting that inside, I think I'm going to leave it and I'm going to save it for this other little section. And I'm just going to put in some of these. I'm going to give it a little bit of extra lift rather than just putting in the one layer. This is like a 1.5, but I'm going to give it a double layer. Let it pop out a little bit. Yeah, I just put it on upside down. Guess what? It's a double layer. So guess what I can do? I can just flip it right around the other way. Ha ha. Tricked you. Okay. Alrighty. And I'm going to remind you that this is best done with Best Glue Ever, which takes a little bit of time, which I would normally have tied and dried. But because I do not under these circumstances, due to the change of plans for the day, and those of you that did not join us right away, I just wanted to let you know that the reason why I am taking over today is that Debbie is asking for thoughts and prayers for her and her family right now, and that she wasn't available to be here today. And if you can just give her your warm thoughts, warm fuzzies, that she would really appreciate it. So I think that with this, I'm going to go ahead and apply a little bit of just the Eileen's glue just to hold it for the moment. Now, I have a question for you. It is 5:30 exactly. I've done 4 cards. Do you want me to show you what I'm going to do with the smallest little one here with the toppers? It will mean that I will take a little bit more time and we'll probably be here for about another 15 minutes and then I show you the kit, or I can show you the kit first and then I can just finish this one off at the end, and you guys can go and say, see you later. If you need to check on out. If you'd like, I can absolutely do that because I totally understand everybody's got a little bit of stuff to do for their day. It's the end of the day and it gets busy. And it's nice to kick off your shoes and just go at the end of your day too. Anybody have a preference? Do you want to see me do the last card, or do you want to go ahead and look at what we're going to include in this 10 topper kit so that you know and have it prepared and ready to go? If you already brought a Craftaganza, if you didn't buy a Craftaganza, then you'll know what will be included that we're going to set up tonight for you to be able to purchase. Hi, Glenn, if I didn't say hello. Fred, I think that you can, Dorothy, I think that you can go through and actually type in a name that you want to show. I'm not positive, but you can look into it in order to show your name if you want it to show. Yep, definitely I'm going to need some Best Glue Ever on that one. But that came out really pretty, didn't it? It's got some nice richness to it. If you wanted to, you could totally take the border that we have some left over of, and you could run that along through the middle, and it could show up in the middle here too if you wanted to, or the other direction. So you can have a little bit of fun with that as well. It's an idea. Hi, Irene. Okay, so that is everything that is in this. I have used all of my background paper, I believe, except for a little bit of the stars. So this is what I have left. and my border, wherever I set that off to. That is what I have left with this kit. So I can absolutely do an A6 card with this and have something really pretty that we can do with it. So I'll do that at the very end. I'll go ahead and show you what we have. And if you guys want to hang out a little bit longer and see, we'll set that in motion here at the very end. And I'm hoping that I can find my border in here somewhere, because it's got to be in here somewhere. Okay, so for those of you that have your Craftaganza, this topper set is the A Visit from Afar, and that's the one that we did tonight, and it will be included in a 10 topper kit. We're going to call it the class Hunkydory class live stream class kit, I believe. There's no cardstock or cards that will be included. We're just going to include the 10 toppers and 5 yards of ribbon. And I'm going to just choose the ribbon once we get off this, and then from there we'll put it into the kit, and you can see a picture of them kind of just fanned out with the color of ribbons sitting there as well. So if you have an ultimate kit, you should already have the ribbons, and you should already have your Craftaganza. If not, you can always order the ribbons as an extra piece. You can just let Debbie know that you want to order a yard of this color ribbon or that color ribbon, and she usually will allow you to buy off of her wall during this time of year. So we have The Night Before Christmas, the Winter Wishes, A Snowy Perch. So these are both are the Winter Wishes set. This is the Contemporary Christmas. This is the one that I had in mind when I said green would look really nice with this set. As well in the Contemporary is the With Love at Christmas. The other one was a Meowie Christmas. This set came from that I did today with the Wiseman, came from the Christmas Classic. And this is the other one for the Christmas Classic. It's the Deck the Halls. I think I'm going to pull. And then our Festive Friends is our cute set for the year, and we have 4 of those in here. So we've got the Snow Much Fun with the penguin stack. I love their little hats and scarves. They're so cute. We have a teddy. It's called Santa Paws. The Festive Friends, A Christmas Wish. See what I mean by when I said that we had some that are kind of a tealish color, but that blue is going to look really pretty with it too. So I think you can't go wrong with gold, silver Miri, a little bit of blue. I think really in reality, that's probably going to be your main Miri colors that you might want to use. Silver, gold, blue, some red. This is our last one. It's called Coming Home for Christmas. I would have to say that if Debbie did not call dibs on all the cute ones, this would be my favorite out of the cutes. Isn't that adorable with the little squirrel holding the lantern for our hedgehog friend? Okie dokie. So this is what's going to be included is all 10 of these, as well as 5 yards worth of ribbon. And it's going to be $39.95. So it should be up later on tonight. But those of you who want to have or already have your Craftaganzas, pull these out. These are our 10 that we're going to be using so that you have them ready to go each time. We're going to be doing them on Thursdays and Saturdays. through the rest of this month. So I think there's only one day this month that is not Hunkydory Craftaganza. So here you go. That's what we got. And I believe that you should be seeing everyone on Saturday. I do know that Bob has his birthday party this weekend, and I do not believe that they're changing the time for that. So I want to say that that's happening on Sunday and not on Saturday. So bear with us as we get our bearings, and you should have a timeline when you look at your studio. When you go in to look at your YouTube, it'll tell you when the next live one is, and you can look and see what time we're going to be starting on Saturday. And I do not believe that they're going to change that. Unfortunately, being on this side of the computer, I can't say what time it is. So that is what we have, and I hope that those of you that had the opportunity to join us this evening enjoyed what you saw. I'm going to go ahead and just continue to wrap up with this last little card. That'll give us 5 cards out of 1 topper set. So you can see how much you can get for that. If you don't want to do it now, you can always turn it on a little bit later when maybe you have your own kit in front of you, and you can just add this to the very end of your of our time today. And those of you that want to hang out and have any other further comments or talking that you want to do, I more than welcome you guys to do that while I do this. So like I said, I think I'm going to go with an A6 for this one. I was really hoping to find my border when I was doing this, and I sure hope I didn't throw it away, but I did not see my border as I was cleaning things up. I know people tell me to look to my left when I do this, and this is the one place that I probably haven't looked. Nope, I don't appear to have thrown it away. Didn't drop it on the floor. Well, now it's just playing hide and go seek. Here's a little bit right here. It was smaller than what I was looking for. Okay. So I think for this one I probably will have to talk it out a little bit because it's taking a little bit more of a creative piece to do this. I think if I this is my process, guys. Yeah, that'll be too short. Nope. Haha. Okay, this is what we're going to do. All right, we're going to take this piece of gold and we're going to just put it right and glue it right onto our leftover piece of maroon. And I'm going to glue it because this is going to hit a little bit past the actual paper, but you won't know it because we're going to fill it in with the frame itself. So I'll show you what I mean by taking this and putting it in here like this. You've filled up your frame. Don't move too much. Don't move too much. So I'm going to set that aside because I want it to dry quite nicely before I cut it. So that's the first thing that we're going to do. Next, we're going to go here. Okay, I'm just going to cover my card in this glitter paper. I think this particular glitter paper, because I just grabbed it out of the drawer, it comes from our Crafter's Companion triple mix. We don't have any more in the gold, but I will tell you that I love their sets, and I think that we still have a few left. We don't have many, but it comes with a pearlescent piece, a gold piece, and a mirror piece of the color that you choose to purchase. So if, for example, we have green, it would be a green pearlescent, a green gold, a green glitter, and a green mirror. And I really like how they created these sets. So we still have a few left, and I honestly can't tell you even what color that they're in. Because we are down to the last little bits. But they work great for this type of thing. And Brittany, yes, don't we have some smaller packs as well in the Christmas colors from Crafter's Companion still left? When I say little packs, I don't mean little papers. I mean, you know. Yeah. It's nice having somebody else just in here to know that I can ask them something.
We have some of the pearl and the platinum.
Okay, so there's pearl and platinum.
And then the snow white.
The snow white.
Christmas green.
The Christmas green.
Christmas red.
Christmas red.
And then we have the pearl metallic, which is the larger set.
Yeah.
The 6-sheet one.
The metallic set. Okay, so there's a few different colors, and it would make a nice background to some of these, just to give you just a few extra ideas and colors that we have in the store that maybe we don't necessarily use in class kits because they're a smaller set that we don't have as many of, so we have to save them for a different day, like maybe an in-class kit. But they are there and they exist, and you may want to just take advantage of it. I'm liking it a lot. Okay. Then I'm going to take and I'm going to go, yep. You know what? I can just use the whole thing. I'm tempting the idea, do I want to try and save every little bit that I can? And I may want to, actually. So let's see. Half of this will put me right about there. So I'll cut this in half. That should get me to each side. Yep. So I'm going to put one of these here. And one of these over here. Make sure that you line them up so that they are, since they are two separate pieces, that they line up equal. And this is where you would use glue to make sure that you can even them on up. Nothing like doing things on the fly. Okay. So if you are like me and things don't always go the way that you have planned, one of the better ways that you can decide how to do that is just you can take an extra card that you know is straight and kind of use it like a T-square for it almost. But we also have your T-squares, your rulers, you name it. There is something always handy as a crafter that you can just use that straight edge for. And in this particular case, I've got some of this that's left over that's straight. So I'm going to take looks like about halfway both directions. And I will say on these, make sure that you've got your little tassels hanging downwards or else it may look a little funny. Because what's on this border are little rug tassels. Okay, there's one. There's two. Yep, that looks good. Okay, now you can choose to either put this up on foam squares or you can glue it straight down. I'm going to just go ahead and do it on foam squares just because I like the idea of it standing upright. I'm going to use my narrow strips because I've got to bridge that frame a little bit. Because the frame does have a really close line in there. And because I'm putting a little bit of extra weight on the actual frame, I'm also going to go ahead and use a couple of my ones in the middle. Because I've got this smaller piece that I'm going to be setting into the middle area of this frame. So I want to make sure that I've given it enough support that it doesn't sag. How about put down your mirror, your glitter card, then color block your pieces with separation in between? That's a good idea. I did not look up early enough. And if this is kind of sort of what you meant, then I should have looked up early enough. Oh, this is going to be pretty, pretty, pretty. I'm happy with this. Nothing like doing it on the fly. Like I said, Debbie makes it look easy. But now you see my process. I lay it out all over the page, and then you get to see where I go with it. And I used to not talk to myself until I started hanging out with Debbie. So Brittany's laughing, but it's true. Okay. So there we go, guys. I think that this will put the last little bits on. I recommend that you put on the inside, use your other little tag, and let's use one of those really pretty Merry Christmases. Because I've been wanting to use one all evening, so why not now? Okay, so look, isn't that so rich looking on the inside? Oops, further out, get to see more of my mess. Look at that. So, pretty, pretty. And then I'm just going to take, and on the inside, I've got all this beautiful glitter already on the outside. So to put in one of our Merry Christmas glitter pieces. It's wanting to stick the wrong way. Come on, work with me. Okay. Mary. These are really sticky, guys. So you may want to use your transfer tape with these. They are so delicate that you may find that it is easier. Yeah, they just try and break apart on me. You may find that your transfer tape will do better for you. Merry Christmas. And that M definitely is not quite right, so I'll have to fiddle with it a little bit more. off camera because I could sit here forever and fiddle with all the little funny things that I see that bug me. But truly, truly, if you use some of these bigger sayings on these stickers, they really do need that extra transfer tape pieces in there. And so now we've got this. Ha, ha, ha. Well, you know, what can I say? It's online and it's live, and I'll have to fix that, won't I? Okay, guys. I will see you guys in a couple of weeks, and in between now and then, have a good and safe week, and we'll see you and talk. I'll at least be on the other end of things next Thursday, so we'll see you and talk to you later. Have a great rest of your night, and I hope that you all stay safe, and have a good night. Thank you, Irene. Night, guys.